Hey everybody, some YouTube videos are interesting, some are informative, some are fun, but not every YouTube video is rainbow and cotton candy. I'm going to put out a couple of videos that's going to tackle some very personal and emotional issues. And although some people watching this may say, hey, that's about me, this is about reaching out to the people that are recipients of certain actions. And I'm going to let them know that there's somebody out there that understands and that they're not alone. I want you to click like on this. That sends a message to the other people watching this video that you also can relate or you know what's going on. Some videos are serious, and this is going to be one of them, and it's going to be hard, it's going to be difficult, but we're going to get through it together. Let's do this. So there are people in this world that get to hear the three words, three very special words, three words that tell one person how the other person feels about them. Those three words that send a powerful, right to the point message from one person to the other. And those three words can change a person's environment to be a place that's pretty dark and pretty cold. And those three words are Seamus. That's right. Once somebody says those three words, they put your first name after a FU, they no longer care about that conversation and they no longer care about you. Totally do not care about you. You no longer matter. That's how serious this is. The conversation's over because they're not going to listen. No matter what you say, it's wrong. It's FU, whatever your name is. FU, first name. It's done in their head. It's bad because they don't care anymore and they don't care about you. People that have proven that they don't care any longer about that conversation or about you, and that they totally have lost control of their faculties by saying F you and your first name, they've just lost it. And there's examples of this. Like when a husband and wife come home early and find a spouse in bed with somebody else having an affair, and they walk off, grab a gun, and kill them both. Somebody did something wrong. So you may have done something wrong or said something wrong, but the response to that wrong, in those cases, someone dies. And if someone says F you in your name, they are serious, and they're done with you, and they don't care. I know the wind was blowing, but let's clear this up a little bit. The things a person may have said or done that were bad or wrong, you probably were in the bad or wrong, but it's how the other person reacts can be just as bad. And if you couldn't hear because of the wind and the snow and the weather that was happening, I was talking about a situation that was kind of extreme, just to get the point across. And that was if a spouse or a married person, man or wife, finds their spouse in bed with somebody else when they come home early, they get mad, they get angry, and then they walk into another room and they grab a gun, they come back and they kill the other people because out of anger. That's an extreme situation. It is called a crime of passion, but they did do it in a moment of anger. Now there's a lot of things that people do in a moment of anger, and it doesn't have to be as extreme as killing someone or stabbing them or something like that. There's a lot of things that go on, and there's red flags prior to that. Now I'm going to walk away from this topic just for a second to talk about suicide. It's another serious topic. But after people die from suicide, the people that are there that are left behind start talking about the red flags or the signs or things they saw a year ago or 6 months ago. They go, things were happening with that person back then, and they don't connect it with the fact that that person's probably going to kill themselves. They do connect it that there's a problem a lot of times, but they don't connect it with they're actually going to go through with something to that extreme level. So when people get to an extreme emotional state, they just react, and they react in emotion. And anger is emotion. Now going back to anger, rather than waiting for someone to be angry and harm you, what are the red flags that that person is angry to point that they're going to lose it and hurt you? The thing about red flags is that they're going to be talking about regular people. not criminals, not murderers, not the people you see in the news that the police are arresting, just regular people. These regular people will hear something or somebody will do something that will make them mad and they'll react. It's in pure emotion, they'll react. Now they may not react in a way that will harm you at that point, but there are red flags that they have the ability to get to a level of anger that they'll lose it and they just react, and that's bad that they can't control that. When someone gets to the point of anger that they say F you and they put your name after it, that's a red flag. The aggressor or the verbal abuser or the one coming at you, the attacker, whatever you want to call them, they won't admit that. They blame it on the victim. They blame it on the person they're yelling at. If the person had not done what they had done, then they would not have gotten as mad to say F you and whatever. You know who also says that? The guy who shot their spouse. The guy who knife somebody, they say, you know, F you, whoever, and kill them. If they had not done what they had done, then they wouldn't be dead. It's their fault. Connecting up somebody who says F you in the first name with somebody who loses it totally and harms another person, that's an extreme connection there. But it's a true connection. Because if people cannot hold their anger when something happens that they don't like, you don't know how far they'll take it. So you got to assume the worst to protect yourself. If somebody says F you and your first name, that's the kicker. They're putting those three things together. It's a dangerous precedent, as I said before. You have to say this is a red flag and you should walk away. And guess what happens when you do that? The person who says F you in your first name says, you can't do it without me. You need me. And they will try and give 100 excuses and yell at you while doing it for you to come back. We see this in domestic battery situations. The cops get called every day, almost every hour, somewhere in cities to domestic batteries. We ask ourselves, why doesn't the wife or the girlfriend ever leave the guy that's hurting them? Well, the abuser always manipulates the person to keep coming back and keep coming back. When they come back, they get abused again. The person who says, F you, Seamus, or F you in your first name, they then, when you walk away, they'll start saying, you can't do that. I'm the only person that can help you. I'm it. I can do this. Other people cannot do this. You need me. You know, and other things like that. 100 reasons for you to come back. But people say F you and your first name and then want you to come back. You are now in kind of like a domestic battery situation. Why do you want to come back to someone who says F you and your first name? Ask yourself that. So why do the people getting abused go back to the abuser? This is a long-standing topic that's been discussed and analyzed over and over again, but it happens. Now, although we were talking about domestic abuse, there's a lot of other types. But what about the red flags, the people who cannot hold their anger? Even if you did something wrong or said something wrong and the person kills a person or beats them or stabs them, but the red flags before that happening, that lets you know that there is a person that can lose it altogether. So when you hear someone get angry and they say F you and your first name, your life is in danger. I hate to take that extreme step like that and say your life is in danger, but it's not in danger at the moment they said it, okay? They're just mad. But it's in danger because they lost it. They're not in control of themselves to tell someone they're supposed to be helping or someone they care about, F you and your first name. Who tells someone they care about, F you and your first name? Who does that? Well, not even them. Remember, it's normal people, the regular everyday people. It's just the people that you know. They're the ones doing all the crazy things that you see in the news. These aren't drug addicts or meth heads or past criminals fresh out of prison. The people that are doing the absolute over-the-top crazy stuff are the regular everyday people, because they get so angry and then they get to a level of anger that they just lose it and they go crazy. They either shoot somebody, stab somebody, and run someone over with their car. It's crazy. So these are just regular everyday people, but the red flag to know that you're dealing with someone that could totally lose it someday is when they tell someone they care about, they're supposed to care about, or they're helping, F you, your first name. That's a big red flag. They have lost it. They just told someone they're supposed to care about or they're supposed to be helping that they don't matter. Because F you, I'm done with this conversation. F you, I'm done with whatever's going on here. F you, this is not going to happen. Whatever you say is wrong. There's nothing you can say to change my mind in whatever we're talking about right now, because you don't matter at this moment. F you, your first name. Who tells somebody that they care about that? Someone who's lost it and has the ability to lose it. That's who. And getting away from these people and turning and walk away is a smart move, but they're not gonna let you. Think about all the domestic dispute situations that you hear where a woman tries to leave an abusing husband and he just won't let her. You can't live without me. I supply everything for you. I'm the person that gives you everything. I can only be the one that can help you. No one else apparently can, just that person. And they convince the woman that is true. So they go back. And what happens when they go back? They get beaten again. They get threatened again. So it works the same way when you're not talking about domestic dispute. It works the same way for people that are verbally abusive. So they say F you in your first name, and then they say, oh, you need me. You need me. You have to come back here. I'm the only person that can help you. And then you go back. And when you go back and they supposedly care about you and help you, what do you think happens? F you, first name. So you got to think about that. Hi, and thank you for all your time that you spent to watch this entire video. It is longer than the normal YouTube video. Click like, better yet, click subscribe. There is another serious video coming up after this one at some point. It's more animated. It's not me talking through the whole thing. I really appreciate you. Keep subscribing and keep coming back. And we'll be right back on par after I do this next video. And I got some big plans coming up. So it's better to subscribe, because then when you get notified each time that a new video comes up. So keep it going. We'll do this together. You're good. I appreciate you. Come on back.